Hey guys, welcome back. Well, I've spent the time to create a Hell Let Loose official field guide. This guide is detailed and it goes through how to play the game. I did create this in Microsoft WordPad, so there might be spelling errors as WordPad does not have any spell check. Comment below if there's anything you think I should add to this. I will be updating it when Update 10 comes out to whatever kind of new equipment and stuff we get that's viable to the gameplay. So let's get started. Mission. Objective. Any black circle or icon with the name of a town above it. Example, Hill 400. Goal, capture all objectives to win. Objective. Warfare. Capture all of your enemy's objectives. The beginning of a match looks like the image above. Each red and blue zone is owned by its respective team. The neutral zone is in the middle. In every match, each team will be trying to capture the middle objective first in order to establish dominance of the map by controlling more sectors. Sectors are the two lines of squares closest to an objective. The neutral zone is one sector and extends the length of the map. Each map contains 5 sectors total. Maps can be vertical or horizontal. Pictured above is a map laid out horizontally. How to win? Conquer all of your enemy's objectives before the clock runs out. If the clock expires, the team who holds control of the most objectives wins. It takes 2 minutes to capture each objective. If 2 objectives are being taken over simultaneously, the first to conquer that objective wins control of that sector. This is where paying attention to the map really matters and can result in an epic win or devastating loss. Don't forget to defend an objective you are losing. The war happens whether you are defending or attacking. Not defending your objective will almost always result in a loss. Pictured above is an objective, Hill 400, being partially capped. The yellow arrow below Hill 400 is your player icon. This icon also shows the direction you are pointing. Capping or capped. Terminology used to describe the status of an objective. Example, Hill 400 is being capped. Important note. As you can see in the image above, you don't have to be inside the objective to start capping the objective. You just need to establish dominance inside the 4 squares nearest to the objective. In this case, the 4 squares nearest to Hill 400. Pictured above is Hill 400 after being completely capped. In this example, Americans versus Germany, the Americans have gained control of the middle sector. The Americans now control 3 sectors of the map, and Germany controls only 2 sectors of the map. Objective offensive. Offensive mode requires one team to defend all objectives and the other team to attack all objectives. Pictured above is the beginning of an Omaha Beach offensive match. This map shows the Americans' perspective. Your yellow icon is pictured in the bottom right. Your player will begin in a boat moving into shore. In this example, there is one objective to gain control over, Dog White. There will be Germans trying to capture this objective as well. In the image above, you can see Dog White is being capped. This requires you to get inside the objective to start capping. Offensive mode has a 1-minute cap time. Once the first objective is successfully capped, the next 2 objectives will be revealed. Defending teams can see all objectives on the map. Pictured above is the next available objectives, WN73 and WN71. After the Americans have successfully captured Dog White, a lock will appear on the objective. This means that Germany cannot recapture Dog White. Germany must retreat and defend WN73 and WN71. The Americans must capture both WN73 and WN71 in order to advance and reveal the next 2 attacking objectives. For instance, if the Americans capture WN73 first, then the 4 squares nearest to WN73 will turn blue and a lock will be placed on WN73. How to win? Using the example above, the Americans must capture every objective to win. When it comes down to the Americans capturing the last 2 objectives in Germany's headquarters, The attacking team only needs to capture one of the two objectives shown. For the defending team to win, shown in red, the only thing Germany needs to do is prevent the attacking team from capturing a sector for 30 minutes. Remember, Dog White is in one sector, while WN73 and WN71 are in a separate sector. Important note, Germany could hold off the Americans on Dog White for 30 minutes and win. Germany could lose WN73 and hold off the Americans on WN71 for the remainder of the 30 minutes. If the Americans cap both WN73 and WN71, the 30-minute clock starts over. 30 minutes per sector. Communication. There are 3 lines of communication a team may use. Whichever line you use will show up on the lower left of your screen in its respective color. Yellow for leadership chat, which is used by commanders, officers, spotters, and tank commanders to coordinate attacks and strategies. Unit chat is shown in green. It's used by your squad to achieve their set of objectives. Only your squad, up to 6 people, can hear each other using this line of communication. Example, if you're in Fox Squad, only players in Fox Squad can hear you communicate. Team and proximity chat. Proximity is shown in white on screen and is used to communicate to any player on your team within a 50-meter radius. Text chat is another viable way of communicating with your squad or team. Squad text is only visible to your squad, and team text is visible to your entire team. Important note, communication is the biggest asset your team has. Not communicating can quickly get your whole squad killed and even affect the team as a whole. You may see something of great importance, like a tank rolling in. Notifying your squad of the impending doom can greatly improve your chances of survival and will give your squad leader an opportunity to use leadership chat to notify other squads, including the commander, of an enemy tank's location. Having a microphone to play Hell Let Loose is highly recommended. To play Hell Let Loose without a microphone is putting your squad and your team at a huge disadvantage. A squad leader can kick you from their squad for not having a mic. Squad leaders can also kick you from a squad for not following orders. Be mindful and listen the best you can. Your team's survival is counting on it. Important note, when a squad leader is listening to leadership chat and also trying to listen to squad chat, it can be very difficult to relay messages. Squad leaders hear both chats at the same time. Squad leaders using leadership chat should keep their conversation to a minimum and only relay the important things like strategies and flanks, etc. That will keep the communication lines open for a squad leader to hear their squad and more immediate threats, such as garrison location or tank location, etc. Pings and hard markers. There is 2 types of markers used in game. Ping marker. Use the ping to mark anything on the map or in game. Pings only last 5 seconds and can also tell you the distance to an object, but are only visible to your squad. Example, tank is pinged and is directly east 123 meters away. Hard markers are used by commanders, spotters, and squad leaders. These markers are visible to other ranking members on the team. For instance, they can be utilized by a squad leader to show an anti-tank player on your squad where an enemy tank has been spotted. Hard markers will be displayed for 15 seconds. They can also be removed if, for example, an enemy tank has moved or perished. Pictured above is a radius wheel of different hard markers a squad leader or commander can utilize. In the center of the image is an enemy outpost. By simply holding down the middle mouse button, you can access this radial menu. Selecting any one of these icons will place that marker on the subject at hand. In this case, an outpost, as illustrated below. Notice the distance below the marker, 68 meters. If your squad leader marks an item, your squad may want to take on the challenge of pursuing that marker, especially if you are properly equipped to do so. Important note, hard markers can be visible in-game by pulling up your HUD or by simply checking the map. There is a lot going on in game, so you will learn to rely on these markers for proper reconnaissance. Some other items you may see in game and on the map can be found by accessing the in-game map key, Simply pull up your map and click enter to reveal it. Squads. Squad or unit. There are 3 different types of squads: infantry, armor, and recon. If no squads are available to join, you can create your own. Creating a squad will put you in the leadership role, and you will be squad leader. You can also lock your squad, which requires players to request permission to join your squad. Important note: do not be a squad leader or commander if you are new to the game, under level 25, or you do not have a microphone. You will see players start a squad and instantly step out of the squad leader role to be riflemen, for an example. This kind of approach does absolutely nothing to help your team, nor does it help get the game going. Not having a squad leader is detrimental to the gameplay and ensures that you will have up to 6 people not listening or paying attention to what's happening in the communication lines. Why be the first person in the game and limit yourself and your team by not being a leader? It doesn't make sense and shows everyone else how much of a noob you are. Stop doing this. You're not helping anyone. Let people who want to be squad leader set up a squad for themselves, and others will join when ready. Squad designation. You can set the terms for your newly created squad too. Click on the unit designation icon, right triangle next to the squad name, to display what tasks you will be performing. The icons from left to right are labeled as such: microphone required, offensive, defensive, logistics, artillery, and remove designation. As you can see, I have highlighted the lightning bolt and designated my squad to be an offensive squad. Highlight the icon you desire to establish what type of squad you are trying to form. Joining an existing squad or unit requires you to click on the door with the right arrow. Using the image above, it's to the right of where it says 1-6. 1-6 tells you how many players are in that squad. Not all squads can have 6 players. Armor can have 3 players per squad, and recon can only have 2 players per squad, a spotter and a sniper. You are only allowed 2 recon squads per team, so if you love sniping, get into one of those squads quickly. Different loadouts are available per role and vary across all roles. You gain access to different loadouts by leveling up each role. Different apparel is also earned by leveling up each role. Helmets, clothing, character faces are unlocked as you go. This field guide will cover more important roles in an upcoming chapter. Deployment. There is 4 types of spawns where you can join your team or squad in battle. Each serve a different purpose. The 3 main types are pictured below: headquarters, garrison, and outpost. Headquarters. This spawn type is static and is usable by the entire team. It features a 10-second respawn timer and is always located in the back line of your team's headquarters. There is 3 available to use right away in warfare mode and only 1 available to start in offensive mode. In warfare mode, you may lose the ability to use your headquarters spawn if your headquarter objective is under attack. Garrison. This spawn type must be deployed by a commander or squad leader. Only 8 garrisons can be deployed at a time. It is usable by the entire team and offers a 40-second respawn timer. A garrison can be placed in friendly or enemy territory. To place in friendly territory, you must be within 50 meters of 50 supplies. To place in enemy territory, you must be within 50 meters and requires 100 supplies. All garrisons must be placed 200 meters apart from each other. Each square on the map represents 200 meters. Garrisons in enemy territory will be locked if an enemy comes within 200 meters of it, so place them wisely. Supplies can be dropped by a support infantry role, 50 supplies, airdropped by commander, 100 supplies, or driven to the objective by a supply truck, 2 crates of supplies worth 150 each for a total of 300 supplies. Garrisons can also be destroyed by the enemy, example, by a tank or rocket launcher, etc. Grenades will not destroy a garrison. Important note, the bait and switch. If you are a support role and drop 50 supplies, you can switch roles with someone and they can drop another 50 supplies. Not only does this prevent the 5-minute cooldown timer between dropping more supplies, but your supplies will disappear if you try to drop them twice in the same location. For example, this allows 2 players in a squad to successfully drop 100 supplies in enemy territory to quickly build a garrison. As a second note, if you are support and are standing inside a node, yellow circle on the map, your cooldown timer on dropping more supplies is cut in half to 2.5 minutes. Outpost. This type of spawn point must be deployed by a spotter or squad leader, and is the most effective but also the most vulnerable. It can only be used by your squad and features a 20-second respawn timer. OPs can be taken down by an enemy by simply getting close to it or throwing a grenade in its vicinity. Only one outpost can be deployed at a time. Think of this as a traveling spawn point. OPs can be placed in enemy territory by an infantry squad, but only in the attacking sector that the current objective is in. Recon, on the other hand, can place an OP anywhere on the map. They are not hindered from this because their job is to take out nodes, enemy garrisons, and OPs, etc. Important note, OPs and garrisons will automatically be taken down if you lose the objective they are in, except Recon's OPs. It is important to pay attention to the map, because placing an OP just before losing the objective means your squad will have to wait 120 seconds for you to place a new one. If the squad leader doesn't stay alive in that 120 seconds, that can ruin a good flank or even prevent a squad leader from establishing a garrison to help the team. If losing an objective, pay attention to the map and place an OP as soon as the objective is lost. Airhead. This might be the most crucial and brilliant way to gain an effective attacking position on the enemy objective. Airheads are only deployable by the commander. They require 75 munitions. We'll cover munitions in another chapter. Airheads can be placed in enemy territory within the two lines of the attacking sector. Airheads can be destroyed by the enemy and become overrun if the enemy gets too close, similar to a garrison that's in friendly territory. Only one airhead can be dropped at a time and is only available to spawn on for 2 minutes. Airheads feature a 30-second respawn timer. After an airhead is dropped, it will be on a 10-minute cooldown timer. Below are images of a commander using a supply drop and what supplies look like after they have landed. Commander then drops an airhead near the supplies, and then the commander establishes a garrison for the team to continue the attack after the airhead disappears. Commander is on St. Mary-Glise and calls in a supply drop 220 meters from the objective. Supplies are now available for any squad leader or commander to build a garrison. If only there was a way to get there quickly. Drop an airhead. The commander decides to drop an airhead 50 meters from the supply drop. This is where it gets exciting. Now that the airhead is available to spawn on, the commander decides to rush over to the supplies and build a garrison. Commander sets up a garrison for the team to spawn in on. Make sure garrisons are 200 meters away from the enemy objective. Otherwise, the garrison will be locked and no one can spawn on it. This took less than 2 minutes to achieve, and I screenshot each image and edited each image in Photoshop while it was happening live. That's totally true. Important note, garrisons are not a commander's job to build. Every squad leader possesses the ability to deploy a garrison. Building garrisons is a job for middle management. Looking at you, squad leaders. It takes less than 3 seconds to build one, so there is no excuse not to build one. If you walk by supplies and it's 200 meters from the nearest garrison, then don't be lazy. Build a garrison. Do your job and help the team to victory. It was a lot harder writing this chapter than it is building a garrison. So do it, or remove yourself from your duties. A squad leader who cannot take 3 seconds out of a match to build a garrison is not a leader, and will likely lead your squad to its demise. Important note. Yes, commander can drop an airhead in friendly territory. If the enemy destroys the team's garrison, an airhead can be established to assist in getting another garrison built in friendly territory. This may seem obvious, but do not drop an airhead directly on an enemy objective or an objective that is currently being capped by the enemy. This will surely be a waste of resources, not be effective, and be taken down almost immediately by the enemy. Capturing sectors. Sector boundaries. Each sector is made up of 12 squares. If there is an objective, then the 4 squares around the objective can be referred to as the strong point or sector boundaries. Capture states. There are 7 different states the strong point or objective can be in. Capturing. When your team outnumbers the enemy while in an enemy-controlled sector or neutral sector. Defending. When your team outnumbers the enemies while in a friendly-controlled sector. Contesting. Equal number of friendly and enemy players in a sector. Losing. Enemies outnumber your team while in a friendly-controlled sector. Cooldown. A sector is placed on a cooldown period after being captured. This prevents the sector from being immediately recaptured. Use this cooldown period to build a damn garrison. If anyone knows how long this cooldown is, I will add it to this guide. Captured. When your team has successfully captured a sector. Enemy territory or locked objective. Any sector that has a lock next to the objective. In warfare mode, the lock will appear next to the objective that cannot be captured. These will appear in friendly and enemy territory. In offensive mode, a lock will appear on objectives that your team currently controls. Important note, does not apply to recon. If you find yourself heading towards a locked objective and you are not setting up an extra garrison in friendly territory, or you are not an engineer building nodes, then you need to turn around and head towards the currently contested objective. Check your map because it's likely you are now losing an objective and your team needs your help. Everyone sees the noobs out in locked territory doing nothing important and know where to respawn if you die. I have seen upwards of 20 players in locked territory, and you might be getting some kills, but you are in no way helping the team to gain any bit of control on a locked objective. The momentum of this game can be changed in a matter of seconds. Important note, it takes 50 seconds on flat ground to cross a single square. If you are on a locked objective, you could have lost the currently contested objective behind you by the time you get there, and you will once again be on a locked objective. Active sectors. Your team can only capture objectives that are adjacent to currently controlled sectors. Example, the neutral zone in the beginning of a warfare match. This game is all about frontline warfare unless you are a recon squad. Strong points. The effective player count doubles when inside the objective. This allows a smaller group of players to capture or defend against a larger group of players. Get inside the strong point. Artillery. Artillery can be absolutely devastating to your team or the enemy team. These will be located near the center HQ spawn point. A successful hit will play a sound effect to the gunner. There are 2 types of shells artillery can utilize, high explosive and smoke. Artillery does use up your team's munitions, so pay attention to the resources at the top of the map screen. Using up too many resources directly affects how the commander can operate. Pictured above is your team's resources. There are 3 types, from left to right: munitions, manpower, fuel. More details on an upcoming chapter. Important note, if you want to be artillery, start your own squad. This will allow you to communicate to other squads and allow you to see every squad's hard markers on the map. Scoreboard. Checking the scoreboard offers some vital information, as well as the condition of players in the match. If a player's name is white, they are alive. If a player's name is red, they are injured. If a player's name is gray, they are dead. Pictured above is the icons for different scores. From left to right: combat, attack, defense, and support. When accessing the scoreboard, you will see every squad's scores, friendly and enemy, including your personal score. We will assess every icon in the image above, starting from left to right. Diamond. This is what you click to commend players after a match is over. Rank. Every 50 levels earned nets you a new icon. X. This is the role you play. I was a rifleman. Player name and clan tag. 487. That's my combat score. 300 was my attack score. 1040 was my defense score. And 60 was my support score. 76 milliseconds. This is your ping. Important note, to the right of the ping is the icon you click to vote kick an abusive or cheating player. It currently takes 29 people to kick someone in a full server. Important note, between the role and the player name will be an icon with 3 beams. Click this to mute any annoying player. Vehicles. There are 2 types of vehicles. This will change in Update 10. Supply trucks. Features an automatic transmission, terrible steering, and 2 crates of supplies, containing 150 supplies for each crate. Supply trucks can be resupplied at the refueling station located at headquarters. Important note, at the beginning of a match, it's a good rule of thumb to always let a commander or squad leader take the supply truck. They can establish a garrison for the team and drop enough supplies for an engineer to build nodes. Getting a garrison deployed in the first 2 minutes of a match assures your team a chance at capturing the neutral zone. Transport trucks. Seats 12 people and also features an automatic transmission and terrible steering. This truck will allow you to get a lot of players to the front line as quickly as possible. Tanks. There are 3 seats you can sit in when in a tank. Each serve a different purpose. The 3 main types are pictured below: driver, gunner, periscope. Driver controls the vehicle and controls a turret. The gunner controls the tank's cannon and a secondary turret. There are 3 different types of shells that can be loaded: armor piercing, high explosive, and smoke. Commander seat controls the periscope with a 3x zoom. You can easily see 500 plus meters away. Commander seat is in charge of pinging targets. Important note, tanks have manual transmissions and all vehicles require you to start them before you can move. Recon vehicle features an automatic transmission, 3 seats, and room for 2 infantry players. Driver controls the movement of the vehicle. Gunner controls the main gun and turret. 2 types of shells are available: armor piercing and high explosive. Commander seat controls the periscope and is in charge of pinging enemy targets and capturing surveillance. Vehicle damage status. Based on the armor class, a tank may survive a direct hit but suffer mechanical damage. Pictured above is the different types of damage that may occur: weapon damage, movement damage, body damage. Each one will affect your ability to successfully ward off an attack. Important note, if you are playing as an anti-tank infantry role, always try to hit the back of a tank. It's its weakest point. Important note, a ricochet will occur from all types of attacks if you fire at an angle of less than 45 degrees and more than 135 degrees. Tactical map. Each map has 5 sectors. In warfare mode, each team begins a match in control of 2 sectors. These icons are located on each objective. I know the neutral one is probably hard to see, but you can view this in the game as well. The leadership markers pictured below are just some of the hard markers that a squad leader, spotter, or commander can place on the map. You can also see these markers in game by pulling up your HUD. Important note, fire support is referring to artillery support. If you are on artillery and you see that icon, please blast away. There's many icons that you will see in game, so here is another image that explains what they mean. The quicker you learn what they mean, the more efficient you will be on the battlefield. Each node placed by a team will contribute to their pool of available fuel, manpower, and munitions resources. Combat. Hell Let Loose is brutal and requires good communication to make a difference on the battlefield. Orders. When you join a squad, you are under the leadership of your squad leader. The squad leader is taking orders from the commander. Using your HUD allows you to see what's going on in other parts of the map. Navigation. You have a compass and a map. The compass is displayed at the bottom of your screen. A good call out to a friendly player nearby using proximity chat can be the difference between life and death. Example, enemy near my body, 113 east, 23 meters away. Important note, map awareness is the key to your success. The best players in the game have very good map awareness. It's in your best interest to apply yourself and make the most of your skills. This isn't Call of Duty and you're not Rambo. It takes a team and teamwork in order to achieve a goal. Weapons. Every weapon has its strengths and weaknesses. It is crucial that you learn what each weapon does and how it performs. Recoil is vastly different from weapon to weapon. bullet drop is different as well. Keep your gun loaded at all times. For instance, suppressing your enemies with machine gun fire can really help your team's chances of having a successful push into an objective. Suppression causes a player to not be able to see clearly or fire accurately. Equipment. Each role offers different gear: ammo, rocket ammo, AP mines, AT mines, etc. You can be a huge contributor to the match just by placing a couple anti-tank mines. For example, one well-placed satchel onto a building can take out 15 enemies and allow your team to push in. Important note, satchels can also blow up enemy teams' nodes. If you see a group of nodes, feel free to drop a satchel and back way up because the blast radius is fairly large. Resources and nodes. Nodes are a buildable structure that can be deployed by an engineer. The further away from headquarters you place the nodes, the more resources it generates. Nodes also offer the ability to rearm certain classes with equipment. Nodes are split into 3 categories: munitions, manpower, and fuel. These resources deplete when using various tools within the game. Resources are generated every 60 seconds, and the amount received is dependent on the number of nodes and their placement on the map. The farther away from headquarters, the better. In the example above, our team has 422 munitions, making plus 8 per minute. We have 407 manpower, making plus 13 a minute. We have 83 fuel, making plus 13 per minute. These numbers signify that we need more nodes, especially fuel nodes. If you are an engineer, the nodes you should build in order of importance are manpower, munitions, then fuel. Of course, build whatever your team needs, but generally manpower will deplete the fastest. When a sector is lost, your team will lose 50 of the sector resources. That 50 goes directly to the enemy team. If you're always capturing, then you're always gaining resources. Important note, when you lose a sector, you lose all spawn points and all nodes. Manpower, used by the commander's abilities. You can see in the box below, you can see what the commander needs nodes for. Munitions, used by the commander's abilities and act as ammunition for player-controlled artillery. You can see what the commander needs munitions for. Fuel, used by commander's abilities to respawn vehicles and tanks. It's pretty straightforward. Equipment. Ammo boxes are split into 3 types: firearms, medical, and explosive. Ammo boxes can be set on the ground and allow your team to refill their bullets, rockets, bandages, etc. Hell Let Loose has a steep learning curve, but once you understand what is possible in the game, this will seem pretty simple. The best way to learn the game is to jump into a squad leader role and lead a squad to victory. You will learn so much valuable knowledge just by jumping into an important role in the game. Support and engineer are also incredibly important, and we can always use more of them on the battlefield. If you are new to Hell Let Loose, my advice would be to start off as rifleman and work your way up to more important roles. Start small, get a feel for the game and weapons. If you are new and don't understand the game, then playing as an engineer and being told to set up nodes and defenses will drive you crazy trying to figure it out. Even though it's as simple as being close to supplies, selecting your wrench, then selecting which node or defensive item you wish to build, building the blueprint, which shows up in green, then switching to your hammer and completing the blueprint until you have your item constructed. It may sound complicated, but it takes less than a minute to do. The goal of this guide is to be an ever-changing document. As more updates come out, I will change whatever is necessary. But I think there is enough here to answer most questions, and there is enough left out for you to learn and play the game as you see fit. I hope this guide will help you in understanding this beautiful game. So that's it. That's the guide. I'm going to make it available to download as a PDF. Be able to put a link in the description if you're interested in reading it. It might be better to read it than listening to me talk over it. But either way, there it is. I hope that helps any of you, all of you, some of you, new people. Please read this guide. Hopefully, someone gives it to you and wants you to understand the game, because, God, I would really love for people to understand this game a bit better. So I hope this guide helps any of you out there that are trying to learn the game. Thanks for your time.